Thrifting ain't easy, unless you're watching me.
Let's go get lost anywhere in the USA. Let's go get lost, let's go get lost.
Welcome! You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, where we bring Hollywood home on a budget. The beginning of spring is a time of renewal for our precious Mother Earth, where we start to feel the warmth of the sun just beckoning us to get on the road and breathe in some fresh air. So we start making our travel plans. For a few of us, that might be done a bit prematurely, given that we live in colder climates, especially here in the north, here in New Jersey. But if you're one of those people, I got 5 really fun ways to make the trip more fun than the destination. Much more fun, in fact. You may never want the trip to end. That's right, this week, we're road tripping to infinity. But before we buckle up and get on the road, we gotta grab a bite first. In America, we like to think of ourselves as a melting pot of cultures, ethnicities, and traditions, and treasures recipes that really stem from all those. That's all well and good. But for me, I like to think of ourselves more as a saute pan than anything else. Because wherever you go, north, south, east, west, rain or side, indoors or outdoors, you're bound to hear the sizzle of something scrumptious. Right after the calls of, "Come and get it!" and "Dig in!" Always the siren songs of something delicious, never pretentious. Bon appetit is a little too frou-frou for this, even though that's Julia Child's department. No shade to her. But this is not only down-home American country cooking at its finest, but it's also long-lost family recipes, rising from the ashes of Grandma's recipe box, and finally being given the spotlight they deserve in the complete Cook's Country TV show cookbook. We're talking a baker's dozen seasons worth of recipes, reviews, and testings and tastings, all for $9.99 from Red, White, and Blue Thrift Store in Patterson. We've done many iterations of the complete Cook's Country TV show cookbook before. All of them are awesome. But today I want to focus on sandwiches. I don't know about you, but I consider sandwiches one of the most travel-friendly foods that you want to pack up for a long, long road trip. You get very few complaints from sandwiches. No one ever really made friends on the road eating portable salads. Unless they come from this. We're going to highlight a few sandwiches today. They'll all be of equal deliciousness, and we start right now with shrimp po' boys, which serves for the standard MO with ATK cookbooks. It's the Why This Recipe Works section. That's the summation of the testing process, developing the recipe and refining it over and over and over again until they arrive at the very best versions. After all, their motto is recipes that work. You get ingredient recommendations along with equipment recommendations sprinkled throughout the book with the recipe instructions, and of course being given a very own shopping guide along with an episode guide with all the episodes from the first 12 seasons and all the recipes featured in those episodes all throughout this book. Those guides can be found at the end of the book. You also get to hear sidebars like these, the American table, the birth of a sandwich. In here, you learn the origins of each recipe. You can trace them all back to their delicious roots. So you get some really engaging stories behind them. Some of them are hilarious, some of them are heartfelt, but all of them are interesting, adding to the delicious intrigue that makes up this culinary roadmap. Next up, we have patty melts. A classic for a reason, folks. And that'll serve for, again, Why This Recipe Works. Next up, Oklahoma fried onion burgers. You know, to me, burgers, sandwiches, they're kind of one of the same. It depends on the shape of the protein. Like meat or veggie, or in this case, meat. I need some meat. I mean, I can't really stomach a long road trip without some meaningful protein. Not knocking the vegetarians out there. Veggie protein is also meaningful protein, but I need something a little more sustainable for my, semi-good taste. Anyway, we'll move on to Baltimore pit beef. That'll serve 10, so yeah, you might want to pack up some leftovers for this the next time you have a long road trip. Of course, that's from Baltimore. It's known for its pit beef, replete with a well-seasoned charred crust and a rosy pink interior. It should be fine for leftovers. You also get ingredient preparation tips right here in these sidebars. Like if you want to weigh down sandwiches before or after you serve them to get the proper texture, or maneuvering recipes around the grill when you're preparing them so you have more control over the heat when you're making them. Next up is barbecued pulled chicken, which will make enough for 8 sandwiches. Again, leftovers are crucial. I mean, no kids should be famished when I'm on a long road trip, so this is where leftovers really come into play. Here we have Tennessee pulled turkey sandwiches that serves 8 to 10, and they give you separate instructions for making them on a charcoal grill and a gas grill, for when, inevitably, the weather does warm up to the point we actually do get on the road. Right now, we're just taking care of preliminary messes so you don't forget. Finally, Tennessee pulled pork sandwiches. That serves 8 with leftovers, and I mean leftovers. Again, pack them up and store them until you're ready to hit the road. I don't care whether it's down south or anywhere else. You're going to be hitting the road, certainly unfamished, with these recipes. And that is where they're just getting started. Our Sunday best, everybody loves Italian, the state of grilling, steakhouse specials, fork-in-the-road favorites, as good as grandma's. Much, much more. Those are the recipe chapters in here. And state to state, generation to generation, origin after origin, photograph after photograph. There's some scrumptious material in here that really spans the country. This is your shopping guide, shopping for equipment. These are your conversions and equivalents. Always a nice feature to have here. And oh yes, stocking your pantry. This is the ingredient recommendation guide in here. And we might as well just show you the episode guide in here. If you've ever seen Cook's Country on ATK on PBS, you'll know that it follows the same formula as America's Test Kitchen, with one noticeably different segment, the Tasty Lab with Jack Bishop, which, as you can tell, is filmed in front of a live studio audience. And it shows. They had to eliminate that during the COVID era, but they're back in full force. Every recipe from all 12 seasons of Cook's Country, every road trip, every equipment and ingredient recommendation featured in here, with a comprehensive shopper's guide, a top-rated equipment and ingredients, helpful tips and tricks, and engaging stories behind the recipes. You'll have all the TV show has to offer and more for a retail price of $32.99 in the US and $39.99 in Canada. It's worth noting that before I purchased this, I purchased the complete 10th anniversary edition of this very cookbook for $4.99 out of a retail price of $45 from 2nd Avenue Thrift Superstore in Union. That bargain was so impressive, it garnered rave reviews from Adam Reed in the Equipment Corner saying, "Point, shoot, score" on Instagram, to which I say, slam dunk. And Christy Morrison, who just simply said, "Well done," with a praise hands emoji. A good day for a great bargain. $10 for $33 isn't really that impressive of a bargain when you compare the two, but I have a theory about how Red, White, and Blue prices cookbooks, and books of other natures like this. The more recent the publication, the higher the price. It's kind of unreasonable, but since I did trade up, I really had no choice. This gets all 5 claps. I mean, I'm getting 2 more seasons worth of bang for my buck, so I had to take it. And hopefully, you'll take this to heart for love of God and Cook's Country. Because no matter what price you encounter for this at any thrift store, at the end of the day, you're sure to heart it just the same. Maybe as much, if not more, than I heart these two. Thanks for tuning in. Just so you know, there's no limit to bringing Hollywood home on a budget. Please go ahead and check out another awesome review like this one by clicking here, and make sure you subscribe by clicking here. Until next time, I'll catch you, as I always do, on the thrift side.